Good afternoon. Glad that you've chosen to spend some time studying the Bible with us today. Today we're looking at Mark chapter 8, verses 1 through 9a. In those days, when again a great crowd had gathered and they had nothing to eat, he called his disciples to him and said to them, I have compassion on the crowd, because they have been with me now the 3 days and have nothing to eat. And if I send them away hungry to their homes, they'll faint on the way. And some of them have come from far away. And his disciples answered him, How can one feed these people with bread here in this desolate place? And he asked them, How many loaves do you have? They said, 7. And he directed the crowd to sit down on the ground. And he took the 7 loaves, and having given thanks, he broke them and gave them to his disciples to set before the crowd. And they set them before the crowd. And they had a few small fish, and having blessed them, he said that these also should be set before them. And they ate and were satisfied, and they took up the broken pieces left over, 7 baskets full. And there were about 4,000 people, and he sent them away. So this story is the second time of one of these miraculous feedings. And it's interesting that when you read commentaries and things about the Gospels, there just seems to be a desire on the part of some to find every reason possible not to believe in the clear declaration of what the Scriptures are saying. And so there are a number of people that are questioning, well, this must be some, retelling of the first time, because he already did that once, and all these different things. But I guess my question is, why couldn't it be another time? I mean, it's not the same situation. Here he is in Gentile lands, and it's a different number of people. It's a far smaller crowd. The first time he did this, it was 5,000 men, plus women and children. This time it's just 4,000 people. It's a big crowd, but smaller than the first time. And probably largely Gentiles. And, we sometimes get to a place where we feel like we have a good reason to stand in judgment over the Scriptures. Now, don't get me wrong; it's important to think about the Scriptures, and it's important to study, and it's fine to talk about it and ask questions. But to just deny what it says clearly because you find challenging to believe, that's really, if I do that, that's me standing in judgment over the Scriptures. And really, we need to let the Scriptures stand in judgment over us. It's God's word to us. But Jesus had compassion on these people. He cared about their condition. They'd been following him for 3 days. And they were not anywhere near where there was something to eat. And so he had compassion on them. You can also read about this and says, well, the disciples, how come they didn't understand? Really? I mean, we ask that, but then there's so many times we don't understand either. They'd like, well, Jesus had done this before. Didn't they know what he could do? Again, really? If you've walked with the Lord any amount of time, you know he can do all sorts of things. And yet often when we're in a tight spot, we think, oh boy, this is going to be too hard for the Lord. I don't know how he's ever going to get us out of this. But Jesus has a way of doing that. Jesus has compassion on them. He cared about their current state. He cares about your current state. In Mark doesn't share this, but in Matthew and in Luke, we have the Lord's Prayer, where he teaches us to pray that, give us this day our daily bread, because the Lord cares about the needs that we have. We might not feel like our track record of answered prayers is that great if our list of prayer requests redound to, a new house, a new car, all sorts of financial gain, things like that. But if we are praying that God provides for us on a daily basis, he tells us to ask for that. And so God cares about us. He cares about what's going on in our lives. And he wants to walk through all those difficult times with us. We're at the beginning of a new year, and this is kind of time where we might sort of in one hand be thinking, wow, this is like anything could happen this year. It's full of possibilities. And then on the other hand, we're maybe concerned about what might happen. That there might be things happen that we're just not sure about, that we're concerned about, that we're afraid of. And I want to assure you that if we'll stay true to the Lord, He'll walk through that with us. And when it's all said and done, He will not only provide, but He will provide for us over and above the bare minimum. They picked up 7 baskets full of leftovers here when they started with not much. This is not a means of establish some doctrine of prosperity where God always intends to give us an increase of material wealth. I don't think that's true. He might, but He does intend to supply our needs for sure. And our deepest need is to grow in grace. And I just pray that all of us would grow closer to the Lord this year and work to establish better habits and better disciplines where it comes to the Lord and our Bible reading and things like that, and just a better, stronger devotion to Him. I hope that you've had a great week and you're looking forward to a good day of worship tomorrow. If you are in the Taylorville area, we'd love to invite you to come to our church. If you don't have your own, we're at Taylorville First Church of the Nazarene, 300 South Shumway. Our service times are at 9:15 for Sunday school and morning fellowship for all ages, and 10:30 for morning worship. Love to have you. If you have your own church, by all means, be there and be supportive of your brothers and sisters in the Lord and the pastor. And I will see you again on Wednesday. God bless.